Hey folks, welcome back. This is Lucid, and welcome back. We're playing Ermor. Turn 76. If you recall, in last episode, or in the last episode, to use proper English, we had been, well, we had some success. We had kind of been baiting rlyeh in to attack us by accidentally failing and losing an entire army. That was several turns ago. And we had a major success. We won a major battle. And basically wiped out just a bajillion gold of rlyeh and stuff, including many, many mages. And now we are in a very good position because we had rlyeh's army pinned in this fort, which I went and reinforced this last turn. And turns out he did not stick his little head out to fight me. So yeah, anyway. Meanwhile, we see some battles going on. Oh, we'll watch this one. This is a battle between Naba and Yes. These two are fighting now. It's fine with me. I really like Malika. I also like the name, Overthugged number 3. But, you know, all the resistances, except not that much cold. And then poison resistance, pretty okay. Withering weapons, blood surge, phoenix pyre, gonna be hard to kill. Unless you just soul slayer. So, anyway, she's gonna sit here and chew through all of these little fish people. And, yeah. Let's go through. I can't remember if we found anything. We found an enchanted tower, so that's one earth gem. And then, yeah, the magic face stuff. So, yeah, not too much happens over here. Here we actually. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, we went back underwater. This is Grippa's last breath, the lumber construct. The Void Lurker. Sieging forces. Where the hell is this actually? Oh, did he magic face on? He might have magic faced on top of me. I can't even remember. Anyway, we ended up fighting the Void Lurker for like the millionth time. I cannot remember why he's here. Anyway, we've got this guy running around in our stuff too, which is a little annoying. He's got boots of quickness too, so it's really hard to guess where he's going to move. And a firebrand, and reasonably hard to kill. So anyway, there's that. But basically, there's not a lot going on this turn, except I've pinned like a 500-person army with a bajillion mages inside this fort, and we're set up to storm it. And so that is really the main news from the turn. We've got Mass Flight Fog Warriors going off. We're summoning some air elementals later for good measure. Drain Life, which will help deal with Tarts. Quagmire, Rigor Mortis, advance and cast spells, also to deal with Tarts. And I've also put all my priests on advance and cast spells, so that hopefully they will help deal with Tarts. And I have quite a few of them. So anyway, there's that. And I think he's on advanced cast spells. I've also fixed my scripting issues with having these guys get chill Arad to death. So anyway, hopefully that improves. And yeah, it's a huge freaking army. 100, I think like 2.5, like 250 lictors and maybe 200 knights. So about 200 or 450 sacreds. And yeah, we're all yellowing in. Now I'm not taking everybody. I'm taking most of the guys. Holy shit! I should have taken these guys in. Whoops. But some of the guys, like the ghouls, I intentionally left out. I also left some of the chaff out because you only need so much. And yeah, we're gonna go jump inside. Spamming Vengeance of the Dead at his capital, hoping to catch that tasty, tasty Void Lurker. These guys here, Grippa's Last Breath. We've been normally just raiding on this coastline, and we haven't, for whatever psychological reasons, gone inland to get at these temples. But we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna go ahead and zip on inland, knock down this temple, and hope he doesn't defend it. And yeah, but if we killed this army, rlyeh is going to be in a lot of trouble, because then he's just going to have this doom stack, which I'm not that terrified about. Um, oh, I see what he did here. He brought this void lurker. So last turn, we were under siege, and he pulled the sieging forces off, but swapped them out with the void lurker. So if I came out with a bunch of chaff, he would have killed a bunch of stuff. But instead, I have a bunch of lictors. And this, okay, this actually is really funny. He wouldn't have killed anything, but he did turn 1 earthquake. And the problem with that is I think it's 3 earth gems. He could have put 4 earth gems on. If he did that, then it would be a little bit better, because with this, he definitely is going to fatigue himself out. And like go to over 200 fatigue, which will cause him to take an HP damage, which will trigger a Ritual of Returning, which is what he does. You can see, and it doesn't. The way the spell system works is if you trigger Ritual of Returning on the spell you're casting, that spell doesn't even go off. So Earthquake didn't even happen. But I think you still do spend your gems. So anyway, that's kind of funny. I've definitely made that mistake a few times. So yeah, basically we're going to be storming this fort, and then over here we are going to be moving mostly just the lictors over here. The thing is, I would move more chaff. I don't really have much chaff. I have these guys who I think are coming with, but that's basically it. I don't really have a ton of, these guys I probably should have taken off and brought with, and these guys I should have too, but we don't actually have a lot of chaff. The chaff has mostly been destroyed from the battles that have taken place. So we've got reinforcement chaff coming in. We've got a lot of reinforcement chaff coming in. And I've got a lot of extra lictors coming in. We've got just a lot of military power coming in. So, yeah. We're... With this army dead that we killed from rlyeh, and then with this army about to die, there will be some forces here, but he's not... If you think about it, I mean, there's some things he can do. Like Staff of the Storm's going to help a lot. Like a lot. But he has done major, super high mage commitment armies. It is possible he can match the mage commitment that he's done in the past. But it's very unlikely in the near term that he's going to be able to exceed it. And so then you have to say, like, what is he going to do different that's going to allow him to win? The things that will potentially allow him to win against me are Storm Staff, which I think is an absolute must. Almost nothing else is going to matter if he doesn't have Storm Staff. And the second thing is Undead Mastery, which he can do reasonably well. But it's very high research, and it requires a reasonably large communion usually with one of your death mages. And I think the way you probably want to do it is like Lichcraft, and then a Crystal Matrix, and then stack Pin Gear. But if he did a few of these, he could really cripple me. Like, I couldn't fight him, but I would still gem bait the shit out of him. And that's pretty expensive, and especially if he's going to be doing it multiple times in a fight. Yeah, but unfortunately, the problem is when I gem bait him doing Undead Mastery, I'm going to give him an Undead Army, which is a really major problem. And it's one of the kind of crippling weaknesses of Ermor in the late game. It's one of the reasons I wanted a little bit of MR in my Bless, and we only got one because I wanted magic weapons more, because I was worried more about super combatants and fog warriors and stuff, which turns out to be good things to worry about, because like we would have potentially not taken Scaleria if we didn't kill the teleporting in super combatants from Ashdod. And then generally, like, we killed a bunch of Ashdod super combatants in the first few turns of that war. And generally, we probably wouldn't have done any of that if we didn't have magic weapons. So anyway, but the MR going to be super duper key as we go into the late game. And I have to start worrying about Undead Mastery. Undead Mastery is like the Ermor counter. Which brings up this throne. I really want to get this. Getting this throne is going to... every single magic resistance matters when you're dealing with Undead Mastery. Like, a lot. So getting this throne actually would be pretty huge. So yeah, let's go ahead and go to my current turn, because we have shit that goes down. I've actually come back and re-recorded this episode, because I went and recorded it, and then some major Diplo happened, and I'm coming back and re-recording it. So, yeah, let's take a look. We have an assassination attempt here. We are getting... I didn't mention this last episode. We're getting a shit ton of spectators. And are they here for researching? No. They're here for two purposes. One is disintegrate spam, and the other is dust-to-dust spam. And I'm going to need dust-to-dust spam to grind it out with all these tarts that are going to be coming from rlyeh. A bunch of these guys, especially, I put a shroud on them, and then they are going to have the built-in regen and blood vengeance. It's also nice having shrouded chassis just in an army, because if they spam shit at me like flames from the sky, we're going to potentially blood vengeance them, which is always hilarious. And then the bonus HP and regen is going to be super nice. I think it'll put them at... I think I only have 5 HP regen. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. It puts them right at 30, not at 31. But anyway, they'll be just dropping Disintegrate. Disintegrate's going to be very important versus Yes also for... We're going to see why this is going to be relevant in a second. But it was one of the things I was kind of planning for a while. I still have to finish researching it. And I want to get... We may actually drop Construction 7. This was to get golems. I don't think it's worth it. But maybe we do like this. This also gives me access to Underdark, which is kind of the game-winning spell for Ermor. I would need to do an extremely powerful cast, though. Probably like 800 or 900. And then people would probably just vote me winner. If they would probably do a dispel attempt, and if they couldn't do it, they would just vote me the winner. But I don't know if I want to do that. We'll see. Anyway, it's an option. I kind of don't like doing those things. Part of it's just I would rather beat people militarily. And then part of it too is you get a reputation. And if my reputation is I'm going to be a burden of time caster, then it does encourage people to kind of irrationally take you down early. So I don't think we will. If the game looks like there's no other way out other than me casting Burden of Time, then I might do it. Not Burden of Time, Underdark, I might do it. But we'll see. So let's watch the battles, boys. We've got a big battle in here. We are storming the fort with a shit ton of sacreds. On this side, we have rlyeh. Now, we can see a few things. One is we have the rlyeh and God, who's got a ton of nature gems, oddly. We've got these Tartarian monstras, which are interesting chassis. They're pretty damn high HP. They're missing feet chassis slots, but they get pretty good paths. This one here, Astral Death Nature. This one here, Air Death Blood. Extremely good paths. I would die to have those paths on a tart right now. It gives you access. I mean, this probably is one of the best. I mean, you can argue there's better things. You can get really lucky on these, and they can combine, so you could be like a Death 7 Monstra. But that said, these paths are so phenomenal. I mean, it gives you Wind of Death, it gives you Robe of the Magi, and it gives you Vampires. I mean, that's pretty nice. Now, for me, we've got a little blood economy, but I don't know if we're going to be making Vampires. Anyway, pretty cool. So he's got 2 tarts in here. And fortunately, this formation tells us he does not have Staff of the Storms. He also has one of my Dusk Elders, asshole. But he doesn't have Staff of the Storms. But what he has done instead is he has accepted that my guys are going to fly in. And he has all of his idiots clustered around his mages. And the reason for that is so that when... Basically, he's going to get a good long while off of casting before shit goes down with my guys murdering everyone. I think that was... a lot of these guys are diseased too. Yes. Yes. My children. There's also a lot of gear on these guys, or a reasonable amount of gear. We saw that Thistle Mace. We saw the gear on the Titans. The Tarts. Here come my guys. Now, by the time they land, we don't have Fog Warriors off, which is a little sad for him. He does have an air mage who presumably is going to be casting it, but doesn't have enough gems. Let's watch this again, boys. I want to see what this air mage does, because I mean, Fog Wars honestly is not going to help that much. It's going to reduce the damage from my chaff, but it's not really going to reduce much the damage from my sacreds with their magic weapons. Let's see, does he have enough gems? Okay, he has a lot. Let's see what this guy casts. He might do mass flight, because he's trying to dodge his own earthquakes. This other guy have air gems? No. Yeah, mass flight. I think Fog Warrior is probably a little better, because I'm probably not going to earthquake him. Though I could, which would be hilarious. But now he doesn't have gems for Fog Warriors. You know, it's also pretty likely, because I've been gym baiting him a lot, because, you know, I was talking about Staff of the Storms. Okay, let's take a look at what's up. We've got Divine Channeling, Rigor Mortis, Wailing Winds. So this Tart here has cast Wailing Winds, as one does. And we've got Quagmire. So I've got the Fatigue play going, but I don't honestly know if it's going to matter. These guys are getting fatigued out. You can see my guys, as there start to be holes in the formation, are jumping in. And his guys being on flight have actually opened up a lot of holes. So we get kind of more dudes in there than otherwise we might. I don't know if what's happened. There's a few things that can happen. One is if we manage to kill a mage, which we can just do with Blood Vengeance. If one of these mages dies from Blood Vengeance, then all the bodyguards assigned to that mage just become unscripted, and they're not going to be on guard commander. And as flyers, there's a good chance they can fly off like this, which will then open up holes in the formation for our guys to jump into. So I think that's what's happening. It's also possible that some of these guys were not on guard commander and they just jumped out. But I think they probably were all on guard commander. There's probably enough mages here for them to all be on guard commander. But you can see the formation, like some of these guys in the middle. Now I've got Fog Warriors on my guys and he doesn't have it on his, but he also has magic weapons, so it's not a big deal. You kind of look too. I can't remember if you get. Yeah, okay. The first hit, you can see this guy took 1 damage, and it popped his. That's what I thought. Even with magic weapons, it does reduce the damage from the first hit. So even then, it's still pretty awesome. But all of a sudden, you can tell there's not much rlyeh left. Unfortunately, the Titans or the Tarts are still here. And then he did get mass regen and some other things off. You know, he probably... I don't know what his research priorities are, but there's a chance he could have gotten Army of Gold up. This is the time in the game when rlyeh should have access to it. But we know he went really deep in Conjuration. And then we also know that once he thought he had enough stuff to fight me, he didn't want to wait any longer. He did a huge mage commitment to attack. And then Tarts, you know, are very high in research. So I think he went Conjuration 9, pulled a ton of his mages to fight me, and then he's probably trickling his way towards Alt 9, probably at like 1,000 research a turn, which takes a while. Because he was probably at like Alt 7 before. That's kind of my guess. But that would have made these guys hold up a lot longer. Especially if they're on guard commander. But unfortunately, we have a Tart problem now. And we can't manage to kill these Tarts. So I'm going to fast forward here. Eventually, they start jumping around. The problem is they each have a Ring of Regen. And so that gives them 20 HP regen. And they had mass regen cast on them. So they're all regening 40 HP a turn. And like with Drain Life, we can kind of get through it, but not really. So it's annoying. Eventually one of these guys is going to fly away. He actually flies back here and we start hitting him. But meanwhile, my other guys are casting Unholy Command at this guy now. And I think before they were targeting the first one, so this other guy flying the back was good. Because now we're Unholy Commanding the back guy. Which is nice. And I'm not sure why these guys haven't run. Because They're not immortal, and rlyeh has routed, and they are flying, so they should just be able to fly away, which would mean they lose the battle. So I'm not sure what it is. But you can see now we have... I'll show you in a second when he lands. We've stolen one of these guys, and we stole the air, death, blood one, which I think when you steal them with Enslaved Mind, you get a different dice roll of paths. We'll find out when we bring this guy back, or when we Gift of Reason him. But I think we get a different dice roll. Yeah. But even if not, it's good just to deny that particular path combo from rlyeh, because that's probably one of the better tarts. And you can see we're lighting him up, but yeah, we're not going to kill him. Anyway, he times out the battle. So if we look at the final death toll, before you even look at this stuff at the top, don't worry about those numbers. Look at all these. We have killed 3 of the adepts. We have killed a bunch of commanders, about 7 or 8. We have killed 11 slave mages, 35 star children, and 11 star spawn. So just between these, that is... Well, if we add these and these, it's about 60 mages so far. And one of the Tartarian monsters, which we stole. And then plus 300 Meteorite Guard. So this was significantly more Meteorite Guard than he had in any army before this. And part of that was because he was trying to just chew through this throne with this army. So this was just an enormous defeat. So things that, I think, the thing that was going to be most impactful was going to be Stormstaff. So I think we can kind of understand why he didn't get it. Like, by the time he started getting surprised, rlyeh, first of all, is not an air powerhouse, right? Let's establish that. They don't get a ton of air gems, right? Even if you do Voice of Tiamat and stuff underwater, you don't typically find a lot of air gems underwater. And then the people they conquered on land, like Facian might have had a few, but Jotunheim probably didn't site search for air, and maybe rlyeh kind of did. Anyway, in all likelihood, rlyeh is not an air powerhouse. They probably have like 8 or 9 air income, at best. Not at best, but that's my guess. So you take that and you combine it with, he had some other things he needed, like he had some boots of flying, which might not have been the best call. Like we saw a few of those in this fight. But you take that and you combine it with, he's been trying to do mass flight almost every single fight so he doesn't earthquake himself. And I've been gym baiting the shit out of him. So he's been having to funnel a pretty tremendous amount of air gems to the front line. He's also been dropping, at least 12 pearls a turn on various magic things, either teleporting his void lurker places, mind hunting, etc. So he's been spending a ton of gems just fighting me. And the reason I mentioned pearls is he can't turn those into air gems. So the things he needed, like the Stormstaff, were probably things that were pretty difficult for him to get, and he probably would have needed to have traded for those. So I think that's understandable. And it's also the kind of thing that I would get from him if I destroyed one of his armies. And just because you have a Stormstaff does not guarantee you're going to kill, 500 Ermor Sacreds, in a pitched fight. Like, I don't think he would have taken my throne even if he had a Stormstaff. But he might have been able to hold the fort battle just because of the walls. And I think the air gem shortage, and I'm speculating here, but I think the air gem shortage also showed in the fact that he didn't have enough gems to do Fog Warriors and stuff. So, yeah. This is the second nation that counters Ermor that we have now thoroughly spanked. Scaleria, probably the hardest Ermor counter. Almost impossible to fight Scaleria as Ermor, and we have whomped them. Though there's many hours of playtime difference between me and the Scaleria player, I think. Rlyeh, though, is a seasoned Rlyeh player. Played them many times before. This was by, like Scalaria's first game as Scalaria. But Rlyeh played Rlyeh many times before, and we could see he knew, like, he was doing almost all the things that a good Rlyeh would do. He'd already conquered 2 other players. He was doing the Rlyeh stuff, and we have managed to not only hold out, because at the beginning we did not have the tech we needed to even meet him on the battlefield, but we managed to stall until we had the tech we needed, and then we managed to take decisive fights, and losing a few fights too, I'll point out. And you could see too, like some of the fights we lost, it was like 1,500 undead with like 400 sacreds, and we killed nothing, right? So you can see how horrible of a matchup it could be. But once we got Fog Warriors up, and once we got all of our fatigue plays rolling in the right way, and once we got Mass Flight up, night and day difference in the battles. So pretty interesting. I think this was a pretty cool war. And now, if we just take a look at the situation for Rlyeh, Rlyeh is in a lot of trouble. They have lost this army, which means they're probably going to lose everything over here on land. They have only this left. This is literally everything they have, and it's coming to defend Jotunheim. And if they come and try to knock me off, I have a ton of chaff and a ton more sacreds, which I'm moving in. Over 140, no, probably 160 sacreds coming to reinforce these 250 sacreds. So this will be like at least 400 sacreds of lictors. Plus, and I'm going to have more knights. And then a tremendous amount of trap. I've got 1,000 skeletons coming to reinforce. What I was going to do is have the Jamin, our air-empowered Lich, to just walk his ass over here. And with the Crystal Shield, he would be Air 4. And he would also be able to do Mass Flight and Fog Warriors on this army. Because unfortunately, because we retreated from this battle down here, Winter was unable to fulfill that role. He was not in a province with a lab, so he couldn't Cloud Trapeze. I was hoping to take this fort and then use the lab that Rlyeh almost certainly built inside here to Cloud Trapeze him up if I needed to, but I had been doing this because I know I needed another Air Mage anyway. So anyway, we've done that. We've got him ready to go. And we were also going to put Boots of Quickness on this Lich and have him come over and do a bunch of death spells like Skeletal Legion, etc., etc. So, that was the plan. And if we did that, I think like Rlyeh would attack me here. I'm not sure. I think they would. Like, I think if I'm Rlyeh, I would. Because first of all, it's like a little exposed, but he's also got that feeling. He's got that feeling like, hey, I'm probably going to lose this fight because I've been getting repeatedly spanked. And if he loses this army, I don't even think I could ever make peace with him. And the reason is he'll just have nothing. I will come up here and conquer all of this shit. And in some ways that would be nice, but what I'm not sure I can do, I'm not sure I can kill him underwater. If I had a bigger water gem income to make more of the water breathing items, so I could take huge swaths of lictors underwater, and I would also need a lot of bottles of living water to go underwater. Protect all my mages. If I could do that, like if I had that kind of income, which right now you can see we're at 11, which is okay, but it's only gone up recently too, because I hadn't been doing Voice of Apsu and stuff until lately. Anyway, if I'd been doing all that, I would not entertain peace with Rlyeh, probably, and I would probably at this point go for the killing blow, because his armies have been deleted. He has these left, and if he chooses to attack me, I am almost certain I will crush him, unless he has a Staff of the Storms. And if he has Staff of the Storms versus 400 something lictors and another 1,500 undead, he will still lose, but it will just exact a significant toll on me. Because I'm also going to have Fog Warriors up too. So, I mean, his guys are going to fatigue out just from swinging their glaives before they kill all these lictors and skeletons. So, we've been kind of bantering back and forth in game chat with, he's been posting pictures of the battles he loses, which is not normally something you do. and says, "Guys, I seriously am not going to be able to hold them back." And I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, you aren't. I've been telling you I'm kicking you back into the sea." And meanwhile, everybody else is occupied. Nobody's going to come help him. And for a while, he has been the aggressor, and I've been trying to get out of it. Even in a 1v1, I've been trying to get out of it, because it's a freaking nasty, horrible matchup that, yeah. Anyway, there's a lot better people I could be fighting than rlyeh. But now that he's been thoroughly trounced, I'm not just going to accept peace with him. Because I also don't want to leave him with this big of a economy to come and mess with me later, right? That's the reason for kicking him back into the ocean. Because just him generating this amount of stuff, every 10 turns and coming and attacking me with it would be horrible. So, I sent rlyeh a message, and I said, if you want to discuss terms of your relocation into the sea, then we can do that. And he said, I'm listening. And I proposed to him, I get everything. First of all, I said, look, this is going to be painful. So, I'm just going to tell you that it's going to be painful, and you get to decide what you want to do. But I'll take everything south of from 105 to 104. So, all of this, which, by the way, I didn't say this at the first part, but anyway, that was what I told him. And he was like, oh, that's a lot. I was like, yeah, I mean, my appreciation is that basically I'm going to get it in the next 10 turns anyway. You've lost all your major armies attacking me. And while you would be able to potentially take some stuff down now, possible, right? If I killed this army, I would get all the land stuff. But one of the reasons I don't want all the land stuff is if I can't kill him off underwater and I get this stuff over here, like this triangle, I give him no one to attack but me. And then I'm just going to have him messing with me. And then I actually have to try to kill him off underwater, which I really don't want to do. So, I say, yeah, look, I'm probably going to get all this anyway in the next 10 turns. And you are going to most likely lose far more defending it, like by an order of magnitude, in terms of gem and gold cost, than this will yield you over those next 10 turns. And I'll lose some too, but not nearly as much. But it's your call. And he basically agreed. He said, yeah, I think I'm going to lose. I mean, I think you'll probably get it. Because the other factor now is I can, like, gateway these units around. Like, there's no army here anymore, right? So I can gateway all the lictors if I wanted to. And I could have, like, an 800 lictor stack up here, which I would never do because I'd be terrified about undead mastery. But I could easily gateway them to this. And then I could have 2 300 stacks of lictors, one attacking this and one attacking this, right? And I march through here and I have 2 stacks he can't really counter. And of course, it's not just the 300 lictors. It's with a supporting cast of like 1,000 plus long dead. So, he basically agreed with that. And he agreed to peace. The exception was apparently there's a good site here, which gives him some special mage, probably one of these adepts. Probably like, I don't know. It's probably some ridiculous site. Anyway. He's got 2 more tarts. God. There's going to be so many tarts. But anyway, he basically agreed. And so I'm going to get this and this and this and this and this and this. Jotunheim, capital. And this and this and this. The only thing I'm not getting is 104. This will open up, for me, it's going to give me income again. So I can finish all my construction down here that's gotten stalled out. It will allow me to finish constructing around Scalaria. What I probably need to do, though we'll see. I need to get my little. Hopefully, there's a lab inside here, and I got to make a decision over when I pull these little heretic things out and try to keep a wall of. Basically try to keep my dominion out of Jotunheim. I would really like to milk it for as long as I can. So anyway, he said, I'm probably giving you the game by doing this, but I think it's inevitable anyway that I'm going to lose all this, and it at least, it's going to save him time scripting, and it's going to put him in a better position where, he can go at least try to make another play. And I'm not sure what play he's going to make, but I think it's a very painful decision for him to have to make. But unless he feels like he can kill this army, which is going to be 400 lictors and 1,500 undead with all the spells I can cast, unless he feels like he can soundly kill that, I think it's probably the right call for him to make. And the thing, though, is if I take this, and especially if I start attacking another player, all of this stuff where people are like fighting the bot, it will probably come undone, and I'll have a coalition against me again, which is honestly okay. My plan now that we've agreed to peace, which includes a nap 3. My plan now is I'm going to take this infrastructure as fast as I can. And once I have taken it, or once I've almost taken it, I think I have a nap 2 with Yes. I'm going to end that nap. So it'll probably be in a turn or two I send the nap ending warning. I don't want to end the nap until I'm pretty sure I can have Jotunheim's caps in the process of being stormed. So we'll see. And I'm not exactly on the clock. Yes has lost a ton of stuff, but they do have Gifts of Nature's bounty up. So that is basically the play. We can see he's putting up forts. He's going to fort this whole land up, which is great because I'm going to come through and take it from him. And unless he has Staff of the Storms, maybe he has some mages who can do... Yeah, no, he has some mages who can do turn 1 Storm. I forget what the timing of it is, though. Storm is 200, and I think Mass Flight's 150. 175. So it should go off first, but I don't think all your guys will take off first. So I may have to do a Crown of the Magi or whatever to get my casting time up for Mass Flight. But Yes can also probably make Staff of Storms if he wants to. He's got really high air income, I bet. So anyway, that is the plan is going to be to attack Yes again. And I would feel bad about it, but I don't feel bad about it at all. Yes the new Yes player who subbed in has given zero indication that he wants to be friendly. The only reason he made peace with me is because he got attacked by somebody else. And even after I killed almost all of his stuff, he still wasn't going to make peace with me. And he made peace only instantly when he got attacked, a nap ended by someone else. So, I'm going to send a message this turn to Nabah saying, going to end nap with Yes reasonably soon. Had major victory versus rlyeh and can probably get a peace deal. No. Okay, and this is a little misleading because I already do have a peace deal. But I could have sent that at the beginning of this turn, at which point I wouldn't have known that I had a peace deal. But I don't want to... Why I'm saying this, I don't want to advertise that I have a peace deal with rlyeh. If, for instance, rlyeh may not want to advertise it. I don't want to, mess with rlyeh's plans. And it's going to, people thinking rlyeh is causing attrition to me is going to reduce my heat in the world. So, anyway, we'll see. I think it is in rlyeh in my best interest that everybody think we're still fighting. And it's certainly going to look like that for the next few turns as we proceed to exchange provinces. So, yeah. What did I say? I'm going to... so hold tight. We'll do another one. So hold tight. Okay. So the beautiful thing is I'll probably get these 2 thrones. Let's take a look at which ones they are. One of these is the Ermor throne. This is the one that's closest to me down here. I'm not sure which one this other one is. It could be this one, which gives magic +1, which would be okay, I guess. It could be this one, which I don't really care about, but the nature income would be nice. Nature income is probably my most valuable thing, because my goal now... Oh shit, did I stop here? I need to get up to 9. We're getting tarts, guys. We're going to Conjuration 9. We're getting tarts. And then we'll pick up other shit. Because we're getting very close to where we can do a very strong Gift of Health casting. What I want to do... We're doing... on my god, we're doing Transformation. I was going to suicide him last turn, but I decided to move him to a lab and cast Transformation. We'll see if we can get a cool Tart chassis. Yeah, then we'll suicide him, see what we get. This has kind of bugged out on me before, where I got like a size 6 and then suicided and then did not get a cool Tart chassis. So I'm not actually sure. They might have fixed it in the game, but anyway, we'll find out. Unfortunately, she lost a nature path. So anyway, it'll be a little tricky. She's nature 4. So for her to do Gift of Health, she needs to be nature 6, which actually is not going to be hard. It's Tree Lord's Staff, and then I can actually get her up to 7. So anyway, that's going to be happening. But yeah, we get this. We get all of this. In addition to getting this, we'll be back in our rightful position as position 1. At which point Diplo is going to go cycle and get worse, and people are going to attack me. But, that is the ladder we're going to climb. Unfortunately, Yis is... Oh, wow. Oh, I think Naba's raiding and killing forts here. So that was what... These guys came in here and just knocked out PD as Naba scooted back. But, yeah, as soon as we end our nap, we need to have things timed really, really well. Because there's going to be a bunch of garbage coming in to deal with me. Ideally, I have Alt-8 too. There's really nothing waiting for me at Conjuration 8. Oh, there's Fairy Court. Which I'm going to need. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to kill his Ring of Returning Idiots. But that's okay. I think we'll just drain life them and send them home. But I would much rather kill them. Anyway, we're not going to be doing that. I'm not going to have it in time. We're not going to wait. So anyway, once we have all this stuff, we're going to position our stuff so that after that, and I need to double check whether it's a nap 2 or nap 3, but maybe I don't even have a nap. Maybe it's a ceasefire. I think it may be a ceasefire, actually, guys. Oh, wait. No, I think I do have a nap. I think it's nap 2. So anyway, we're going to have basically stuff in position to have 2 major forces attacking from the north and the south. Each position to start taking forts. Like, ideally, I want to check, like, 1 fort here, and his throne. And then one of these I'll probably bait and, like, leave. But that's the plan. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. Game is shaping up. I wasn't certain how we were going to survive this relay and attack while everybody else was, like, potentially gaining power and getting bigger. Like Ashdod especially, they've got a ton of globals. They're pretty big. I think Ashdod has the blood stuff they can do. I don't really know. I don't play Ashdod very much. But I assume they can get Seer and those sorts of things. Though potentially that Ashdod doesn't have any blood. But yeah, I'm pretty worried about them running away with the game while I'm busy. So us breaking free and getting major gains while getting out of the war with rlyeh. We're going to get that anyway. I mean, we have won the war militarily. We're just taking a shortcut here at the end. But anyway, that happening, is going to be phenomenal for us, because it means we're going to be able to get in on this, take a bunch of land, and then potentially, while it will be very hard for me to attack Rlyeh underwater, because they've got the mind blasters, they've got the assassins, they've got just a bajillion things. Actually, it's pretty easy for me to attack Yes underwater. The fatigue plays are going to work great. I don't have to worry about assassins. I can take my knights underwater. There's still things we have to worry about, but they're all things I think I can manage. And if I can't, I can probably just Ring of Returning my dudes and have them yoink home if things go really south. I've also got Bone Grinding basically ready to go. I forget what Bone Grinding was. Yeah, I've already got it. 7. So I've got, if we look at our Bone Grinding gear, I've got I need to make one more of these robes, but otherwise we're basically set. I think I have Skull Staff somewhere. I'm not sure where they all are at the moment, but we'll find them. Anyway, so I've got 3 dudes who can do Bone Grinding. So 6 Bone Grindings, especially turn 1 and 2, are going to very, very, very much mess up dirty little elves. And by the way, I think that works underwater. I think it's the only one that works underwater. The only one of the battlefield wipes. I forget if it says underwater okay. Yeah, you can use it underwater. So potentially, you know, I could just have these guys with the army, and then I may or may not choose to do a, move the army out and do a PD dump, or leave a portion of the army and turn on Bone Grinding. I can turn it on and off whenever I want to. So I think we have the tools to deal with a lot of these. Killing some of the queens of water elementals underwater will be kind of tricky, but and then depending what Rlyeh does, if they choose to come underwater and fight Yes, I might just let them have Yes, and I take all of Yes's land stuff. And at that point, the people left to fight me are going to be Nabah, who actually is pretty well set up with Purgatory, and then Ashdod. And I think at that point, like if I get these thrones, if I get these 2, that would put me up to 5. And I only need 7 to win. So I think if I get those 2, I just declare war on Ashdod and go after these. And I can gateway around my armies and stuff too. So that's probably my path to victory. And it's probably not even that far away. It's probably within the next 15 turns that I could pull that off. Maybe a little longer, maybe 20. What is it? So yeah, it might be right around turn 100. It's going to be probably like 4 more turns conquering, probably like 5 more turns conquering Rlyeh. Probably 6 turns from now is when my war with Yes starts. And then that won't be easy, but it could potentially be done, in 10 turns from now. 15 turns. Probably in 15 turns. And then this would happen shortly thereafter. Maybe by turn 20. Or 20 turns from now. Yeah, I could see that. But we will see. We will see. I mean, a lot can happen in 20 turns. I'll probably have my Tarts coming online, so I'll have all sorts of new cool shit I can do. Hopefully our Bone Grinding thing's still going to be going strong. Anyway, it's going to be cool. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.